Over 6,500 migrant workers have died building stadiums in Qatar for the 2022 World Cup. While World Cups can be costly economically for countries, this is way more deadly than any other World Cup before. World Cups are the most watched sporting event in the world, and they also have trillions of dollars invested into them. And if that's not enough to convince you that this is an important topic to talk about, there's also huge commercial and political implications that will have long-lasting effects. Even though the World Cup is over a year away, it's already one of the most interesting and controversial World Cups that will ever be played. I've been paying attention to soccer and following articles since about 2012, as long as I can remember, but also in preparation for the speech, I reread and read new articles surrounding the Qatar 2022 World Cup. In the speech, I'll talk to you about a couple innovations that are happening at the 22 World Cup. I will talk to you about the controversy surrounding winning the bid for the World Cup, and then finally, some of the ongoing controversies around the World Cup. There have been many innovations that have been put into place for Qatar to actually host the World Cup. First, it's the first country in the Middle East to hold the World Cup, so that's something new that we haven't seen on the world stage before. Also, because of that, they're building 7 state-of-the-art stadiums, according to FIFA's official website. These state-of-the-art stadiums will have AC so that the players can stay cool. Another thing that's being implemented so that the players can stay cool is that the tournament is being played in winter. This is interesting for a number of reasons. This is the first time that that's ever happening. It's usually always played in the summer. So a lot of people from Europe are criticizing this because their soccer schedules start in August and end in May, so the summer is open for the global tournaments. Well, that's not the case for the rest of the world. For example, in the US, the schedule starts in March and ends in October. So now with the tournament being played in November and December, it works out for the US and a ton of other countries around the world. So I think that this is something that we should be paying attention to. That's one of the great innovations. But the last innovation, and maybe the most long-lasting, is the fact that they're expanding the World Cup tournament so that there will be more teams than ever. And FIFA on their website hopes that this will make the tournament more exciting. And while this is all very interesting, you have to pay attention to the controversies that go along with this. In 2010, when it was announced that Qatar would hold the World Cup, FIFA was undergoing a period where they had lots of bribery accusations. According to Sports Illustrated, dozens of FIFA officials have been accused of corruption. Among those is the FIFA president, Sepp Blatter. He was president for 17 years and was leading when Qatar was awarded the World Cup. Now, the country that Qatar was going up against in the final is Canada, and their football association. A football association is the leading organization in a country. So Canada's FA has said that Qatar bribed Sepp Blatter, among other FIFA officials, to win the tournament because they couldn't win it fairly. They think they couldn't win it fairly for 3 reasons. First, the climate reasons that we talked about with how hot it is in the Middle East. Second, political reasons. They don't think they should have the right to hold the World Cup because they still have an absolute monarchy and they don't allow as many women's rights. But also for the third reason, it's illegal to be a part of the LGBTQ community in Qatar. So that's a huge issue that's being criticized. And because of that, many clubs, other FAs, and commercial sponsors have been boycotting the World Cup. Now, while this may seem like a big controversy, there's still ongoing controversies that will have more implications. There have been many human rights violations. Like I talked about at the beginning, 6,500 migrant workers have died, according to The Guardian. And they have died for a variety of reasons, but they all were working on the stadiums that would be built for this World Cup. And while that's a huge tragedy and huge human rights violation, there's actually been over 10,000 cited violations. Qatar uses a migrant system to get its workers for this World Cup, where they draw people from poor countries and then lock them into basically indentured servitude contracts where they can't leave the country. They get their passport confiscated. Their pay is delayed for months. All of those things are according to Amnesty International, which has been huge in investigating Qatar and the controversies there. Amnesty International has also accused them of slavery. So you obviously can't ignore these huge controversies, even if you think these innovations that go along with them are important. So overall, these great innovations, such as moving the World Cup to winter and expanding the format, along with the controversies of the human rights violations, along with the bribery that may or may not have been used to win the World Cup, are all important things. And like I said, with the World Cup just over a year out, the Qatar 2022 World Cup is already one of the most interesting and controversial world tournaments to date. And many sources, especially Amnesty International, believe that the human rights violations are not over, and that the world should still be paying attention, and that the Amnesty International is calling for more companies to boycott the World Cup. So it's something that the world is keeping an eye on, and that many fans around the world are also keeping an eye on.